Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I am Izza Maulidy. I'm the student of English Education Department in Nahdlatul Ulama University of Blitar. Here in this video, I'm talking about second language acquisition and the younger learner in context. Material is can find it in second language acquisition. Title is talking about how the research found in second language acquisition actually in children and adults in their characteristic by many different subfiles and perspectives, from cognitive, social, environment, etc. In this video, we can find that there are differences between younger children, older children, and adolescents. That's complex. In this introduction, I am to provide a brief overview of some key across research in this term about child psychological acquisition, especially this focus on this in this volume of book. We will define what we mean by child psychological acquisition, what they reflect, and why. In child of psychological acquisition is of interest as a subfile and outline the main themes of the book as a whole. There are many topics we will discuss in this video. Welcome to our class in second language acquisition. In this video contains 4 topics that we will discuss and talk about it. The first is defining child second language acquisition, what we need to define in child second language acquisition. So for the second is different period in child second language acquisition. What the differences in the period of the child in second language acquisition. Okay, for the third is why study child SLA. Why we need to study about the child second language acquisition. And the fourth is 3 aspects of child second language acquisition. There are 3 aspects in child second language acquisition that we need to talking about it. Okay, everybody, let's begin. The first is defining child second language acquisition. Some researchers found that a child began acquiring a new language after they create a grammar. We know that a child, that they're born, they get their first language. And them being, they learn to get their second language, but they may get some error and difficult in their new suitable of their tongue for second language by create a new grammar. Some of them identifies bilingual acquisition among preschool children as the result of early simultaneous language and continue export their own tongue to speak more than one language. Researchers says and they are agree that different young children and the older children have a difference in their acquisition for one hand from the one hand to the other hand to acquire their second language. Actually, this was different from maturationally from the younger children, all the adolescents, also different from their cognitive, social, emotion, and contextual factor. Then in child second-hand acquisition, there are individual differences emerge from the early stage of language acquisition and are relevant through life. And then we can get the conclusion that the factors of second acquisition that is a fact about improvement of the children for getting and improving their second language acquisition. The factor impact with their cognitive social development, the impact another environment. There are actually effects through life of the child from the childhood, the adolescence, and adulthood. The second is different period in child second language acquisition. There are stages in childhood are, are often identified according to the development of second language acquisition. The developmental change their qualitative, qualitatively different way of their thinking, their cognitive, their environment, and other factors that may affect their their growth in style of second language acquisition. Okay, we start from early childhood. This age is between 2 till 7 years of age. This period is when the children are in preschool and the beginning grades of elementary school in a nation. So in this early childhood, the children are learning to think symbolically and they try a small or the easier dialogue in their speaking or in their daily dialogue. So but they can't to think logically about what they speak. In this period, they like should appear again or they try to look on another person who talking and they repeat what they have heard from that person. For the second is Mindajiho is around 7 till 11 years old. Usually we can find it in elementary and middle school. And as we know that in this period, the children is began to speak more clearly than their early childhood. So they can categorize and organize their speak more clear. This conservative aspect of problem they can imagine and thinking more detail. In this period, they make to adapt with turn talking when someone is told they try to answer. On the topic maintenance, they want to speak and they sometimes they make their dialogue more clear than before. For the third is early adolescence, but Dallas still 14 years old, usually founded in junior high school. In this period, little distinct in character from middle childhood, from their cognitive, linguistic, and social. Many child from second language acquisition, child acquisition in this age have their capacity for abstract, including language analysis and how they can throw delicately to their speak and the art of writing. And the last is later adolescence is about 15 years old and older. Usually we can find it in senior high school. In this limitation of the characteristic of children, time make sure that the development of second language acquisition in every children what they get from the early, middle, and early adolescence, they will affect in the later adolescence. And in this stage, the child should be the greater social in their speaking. They become very clear and their mind thinking that it's different to create another grammar or another language grammar in context. For the third is why study child acquisition. We can talk about this context. Why study child second language acquisition? Developing in this project. What make we need to take the study of child? There are many different aspects that we need to know in study child second language acquisition. In study child second language acquisition, there are different and similarities between child and adult. There are three aspects. We can know how we can divide the different and the similarities between child and adult. The first in their ultimate attainment. This is about the significant things that what between child goal and adult goal. They have a difference. Maybe in the child study but second language as for study to fulfill their study to speak in another and that's it. But in adult they have a different goal and different qualitative from a child. They may reach goal with another effort to their psychological which they don't have in their childhood. The process and mechanism of acquisition, when the ultimate attainment is whether child second acquisition relies on an innate language acquisition device and unified grammar. In this process of mechanism of acquisition that make different and similarities of child and adult must work with the child and other from second acquisition suggests relative little difference between two age groups. Typically in their order of acquisition. Actually, for children, it's easier to accept another object, or we can say that they easier to respond. A new subject or new knowledge, but for adult, it's a little difficult to know what they want to study. And initially in adult, they are require a specific goal for the improvement of acquisition in second language acquisition. Their mechanism is so different from child to child. And the last aspect is research approach. Every researcher, they will be specifically make the some approach that suit with their object. What we should do in children, the approach that's suitable with children in their second language acquisition, how they acquire their second language. For adult researcher, make a new approach they need to do with adult object. How adult require their second language acquisition. That make the point that, but this make the point that individual difference in personality characteristic still affect their differences. Okay, for the last aspect we study here is three aspects of child second language acquisition. We need to know there are some aspects that we will find in child second language acquisition. There are three aspects of child second language acquisition. The first is social context of second language learning. We know that according to child and child relationship are likely to serve different but complementary and interrelated functions in second language development. We know that when adults speak to child or between child speak to their own, so in adult, for the learners, they may provide some more scaffolding and research of a child learner's language, and while they may work harder to support and negotiate language, a child peer appear to provide context for practice. We get that the social context of second language learning that differs from child, how they receive, and in the relationship between child is make they can develop their own language learning. As pedagogy and child second language learning, that we can discuss about the importance of tailoring approach. And this teacher need to know that in different children or their different age, they need the different approach too. Different application of pedagogy are appropriate for different age. When we try to teach them strategies, something that teachers scaffold and feedback can should be tuned to children needs both linguistic and cognitive. As the teacher, We need to make them suitable with their own knowledge and make them more currently with it, as well as language acquisition texts that emphasize the need to change the cognitive maturity because our speak and our teaching very effective with children. For the last detailed picture of second language development, we need to know that important to understanding purely of version in children learning. The process involved in the child second language acquisition. They are need to get rich of information and make it style, holistic, and contextualize picture of children. They may care more if we use some media or interactive media available for them, like anime, animation film, or a cartoon, or another subject that they will take it very serious to focus on their learning. We reach to the last part of my video. If you have any question, you can leave it on comments. And thank you for you all who have attended my video till last. And for you all, I say wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.